The Epstein scandal: what was proven, what was alleged, and why it matters. The name Jeffrey Epstein became synonymous with one of the most disturbing scandals of the modern era, not because of a single crime, but because of a web of power, money, secrecy, and failure that stretched across decades and continents. The story is not only about one man, but about institutions that failed, victims who were ignored, and a society forced to confront uncomfortable questions about privilege and accountability. Jeffrey Epstein first appeared to the public as a wealthy financier with mysterious sources of income. He cultivated an image of influence, surrounding himself with politicians, academics, royalty, and business leaders. His private jets, luxury homes, and exclusive social circles created a shield of legitimacy that discouraged scrutiny. For years, rumors circulated quietly, but few were willing or able to challenge someone so well connected. What was eventually proven in court shattered that image. In 2008, Epstein pleaded guilty in Florida state court to charges related to soliciting prostitution from a minor. He served a controversial sentence that allowed him to leave jail for much of the day, an arrangement that drew outrage once it became widely known. That conviction established a critical fact beyond dispute: Epstein committed crimes involving underage victims and benefited from extraordinary leniency within the justice system. Years later, federal investigators reopened the case. In 2019, Epstein was arrested on federal charges of sex trafficking of minors. Prosecutors stated they had multiple victims and evidence spanning many years. Before the case could go to trial, Epstein died in his jail cell. His death was ruled a suicide, but the circumstances immediately raised public suspicion due to failures in supervision and security. Although investigations found negligence, the death ensured that Epstein himself would never face a full public trial. Beyond what was proven in court lies a much wider realm of allegations. Numerous women have come forward over the years describing abuse, coercion, and manipulation. Their accounts often followed similar patterns, lending credibility to the claim that Epstein operated a long-running system designed to recruit and exploit vulnerable young people. Civil lawsuits brought by victims resulted in settlements, including a high-profile financial settlement with Epstein's estate, reinforcing the acknowledgement of harm even without criminal verdicts against all involved. The most explosive allegations involved Epstein's associates. Because of his social circle, questions arose about whether powerful figures knew of, participated in, or enabled his crimes. Some names appeared in court filings, flight logs, and witness statements. It is crucial to understand the distinction here. Being named in a document or alleged by a witness is not the same as being proven guilty. In several cases, individuals denied wrongdoing and were never charged. In others, civil claims were resolved without admissions of guilt. The public conversation often blurred this line, fueling speculation, mistrust, and misinformation. Another central figure in the scandal was Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime associate. Unlike many others, she was tried in court. In 2021, a federal jury convicted her on charges related to helping Epstein recruit and abuse underage girls. Her conviction established that Epstein did not act alone and that others played active roles in sustaining his crimes. This was one of the most significant legal outcomes of the entire scandal. The Epstein case exposed deep flaws in systems meant to protect the vulnerable. Law enforcement failures allowed him to avoid accountability for years. Prosecutorial decisions prioritized quiet deals over justice. Social and financial power discouraged scrutiny. Media outlets, for a long time, treated the story cautiously or ignored it altogether. Each of these failures contributed to the length and scale of the harm. Why this scandal matters goes far beyond the individuals involved. It forces society to examine how wealth and influence can distort justice. It highlights the importance of believing victims and taking allegations seriously, even when the accused are powerful. It underscores the need for transparency in legal processes and accountability for institutions that fail to act. The Epstein scandal also changed how the public views secrecy and privilege. It sparked renewed attention to human trafficking, abuse of power, and the treatment of survivors within the legal system. It led to reforms in some jurisdictions and inspired investigative journalism that continues to uncover hidden abuses elsewhere. Ultimately, the story is unfinished. Many questions remain unanswered, many victims continue to seek closure, and many people still debate what justice should look like when the primary perpetrator is gone. What is clear is this: the Epstein scandal is not just a story about crime, but a warning about what happens when power goes unchecked and silence is allowed to prevail.